everyone. It's Tommy Lee Hayes Brown with Rito Recognition. I'm glad you're with us here today. We have a special presentation for you, a webinar by a colleague and friend, Roy Saunderson. Just a little bit of background about Roy. He brings over 20 years of specialized knowledge and work solely in the field of employee recognition, which in itself is a rare commodity to have. He's the founder of our Recognition Management Institute and is a global employee recognition expert, author, and speaker. Roy is currently the longest serving member of Recognition Professional International's Best Practices Awards Judging Committee, where he lends his expertise in employee recognition to the International Employee Recognition Organization. Roy is also the developer of the recognition strategy model for facilitating a leader-driven recognition philosophy, purpose, and plan for aligning recognition with organizational business strategy. He's co-authored the Recognition Skills Assessment, or RSA, which is an assessment tool developed to determine behavioral strengths of managers in giving effective recognition to employees. Roy has authored Giving Recognition the Real Way, and 101 Ways to Give Everyday Real Recognition. He's a regular columnist and contributor to Incentive Magazine and Training Magazine, as well as a very popular blog writer with a very, very, very enthusiastic following. His current ebook, Practicing Recognition, is available right now on Amazon.com, where he outlines a lot of practical uses for recognition providers, a lot of low cost or no cost ways to practice recognition on a daily basis and get returns that your organization will love. So without further ado, I want to pass it on to Roy. Today's webinar, he's going to talk about how to increase the impact of your formal award program, which a lot of people admittedly don't think a lot about. So Roy, kudos to you for bringing this topic up, that we can all learn a little bit more about our formal recognition program and how to increase the impact of it. Just a couple housekeeping things. If you do have a question, just please raise your hand. There's a button there on your screen, and press that button and send me your question. And while Roy's doing his presentation, I'll be collecting questions and ask them at the end. So here's your chance for some free advice from one of the employee recognition's most well thought leaders, Mr. Roy Saunderson. Take it over.
All right. Thank you very much, Tommy Lee. And it's good to be with you. And you've heard a little bit about my past and my experience with employee recognition. It's certainly been a passion of mine for over 20 years now. And I thought I'd tackle this interesting topic on how to increase the impact of your formal awards programs, because I think a lot of people struggle with this. They might establish their own programs, set them up, but then are they really working to enhance them, to make them better? And I want to be able to share with you some ideas on what you can do to make your programs more impactful and make a difference to your employees. I want to give you 7 ways in which you can truly increase the impact of your formal awards programs. And I'm kind of excited to present these ideas because I think they're just the little tweaks that people need to make that can really make a difference and elevate the quality of your formal awards programs. So the first is just, it sounds kind of simple, increase the number of employees nominated. Because in reality, it's a small number that usually get nominated. So the second area is just to increase the number of awards. And again, you may be surprised, but what happens is an organization will have these President's Awards or Excellence Awards, and they may only have one category, like an Excellent Award. Another is just to increase the number of nomination opportunities. I think it's important to make being nominated a big deal. Sometimes people get a little, shell-shocked, embarrassed by being nominated, and we need to make being nominated special. We need to make this a big deal. that they've been nominated. We need to honor all the nominees, not just the winners. And I think this is a kind of a lost opportunity that gets missed. Now, when you're celebrating your awards, you've got to celebrate the best way you can. Don't feel that you have to replicate what the big guys are doing. They got bigger budgets. Whatever your situation is, do the best you can. And finally, I think it's important to share award recipients' stories. And we need to capture those. And this is a great way to promote future nominees and future nominations from happening. Tommy Lee was kind enough to talk about my book, Practicing Recognition. And we are more than pleased to be able to send with you an ebook version, a digital ebook version of this book. Just send me an email there at roysaunderson@readout. Put book invitation in the subject heading, and I'll gladly send off a copy of the book to you. We'll be excited to do that, and you'll certainly be a part of the Authentic Recognition blog that we send out each week, and you can always unsubscribe if that's not something that you want. And for more information on employee recognition, certainly reach out to me. These are the various ways in which you can. And we certainly look forward to answering your questions. Please feel free to submit ideas that you have for future webinars. Certainly a big thank you for joining us today, and hope that you've enjoyed and learned a lot about how to increase the impact of your formal awards programs. Thank you for joining us.
Always. Hey, and you're not getting off that easy, Roy. We got some questions.
Okay, this is good.
We got some questions for you, but actually, can you go back to your slide about your ebook?
Oh, sure.
I want to hone in on what a great gift that is, because it's just full of so many just regular tips for regular people who don't have a huge $1 million budget, but it just really helps us. And being someone who was on the practitioner side for so many years, so I may have a different filter on it than some, but I would have loved this book when I had just begun my career in recognition, because there's just so much real life events. So I know this wasn't planned, but I truly think it's a great gift. So I don't want anybody to miss out on that. So thank you for giving that to us for free. We appreciate it. And on behalf of our audience who hasn't gotten it yet, thank you, because they will be thanking you after they read it. So I have a few questions. Keisha or Kiyasha, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. She says, sorry I came in late, and you may have covered this, but do formal programs have to be only once a year? Can they be monthly or quarterly too?
That's a good point. I think there is a difference between day-to-day recognition, informal and formal recognition. And on the informal level, that is where you can have the monthly and quarterly kind of events. They tend to be smaller. They tend to be more, departmental, regional. There is some kind of segmentation of geography, department, and it's more manageable on that kind of frequency. And I think that's the issue, is doing a formal event monthly or quarterly, you couldn't handle. You couldn't handle.
Yeah.
And it allows you then to use those monthly or quarterly nominations and award events that you can still have. They can then they can be part of those nominations that get submitted corporately, nationally, whatever the kind of large scale is. So yes, I would say that formal awards do happen on an annual basis. I think where we've gotten stuck or had problems is where we only allow the nominations to happen once a year.
Right.
And I think that's where we need to be encouraging a more broader submission approach.
Well, and then that ties into what you were telling us earlier about, promoting it. It doesn't have to just be a 1 week thing or a 1 month thing. I mean, for 11 months, you're promoting these nominations, and you're talking about these nominations. So the formal awards program is there, every month. You have tons of touch points. And so it builds up. It helps create the drama and the marketing of your formal
Yeah,
presentation. But you're right.
absolutely.
If you had to do that every month, it kind of takes the specialness
I
out of
agree
it.
with you.
You know, like Christmas every month. No, it probably wouldn't be as special.
You bet.
And then last is more or less a comment. Candace says, your views on nominations is a good one. Too many times we focus on winning the Oscar when instead of looking at the benefits or the quality of each motion picture. And a lot of times whoever wins the Oscar is subjective anyway. They're all deserving of recognition. Why not make everyone feel good instead of only one winner?
Right. I like it. And I think in her comments there, I think there's ways in which we can really, I think, after the fact, reach out to all the nominees and thank them for what they have done for the organization, even if they didn't win. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? We can do so much around the nominees. And I think it's a lost recognition opportunity in most organizations.
I think you're absolutely right. So on that, some really good questions. Well, we get good questions every time. It's I think people recognize it's a free chance for some free consulting. So
Glad to be able to share those insights.
absolutely. Thank you, Roy Saunderson, my friend. And we will see you next time. I think, do we have a date yet for your next one?
In 2 weeks. Well, in 2 weeks,
In a
we'll
couple
be having
weeks.
another one.
Okay. Well, we'll see you then.
All right. Thank you, Tommy Lee.
Take care.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye, everyone.